All right, so first of all, we're gonna remove the laces. Next, you're gonna need a piece of paper to like roughly draw out the night tick to get the rough size of how we're gonna put it on. This is the image I was using as a reference. Cool, so now we're gonna measure this out. I think it was around 13.5 centimeters by like 5.5 or something like that. Cool, so this is what we're gonna put into Photoshop. Next, you want to go to Google, type in Nike logo, Wikipedia. That's going to give us a transparent background logo on the first image. And then just drag that into Photoshop. Cool. Then we're going to go to File, New. And then we're just going to type in those measurements that we just had. I'm going to round it up to 14 centimeters for the width. And then height, I'm gonna do about 10 centimeters just to make sure it fits. Unlock that layer, make it invisible. Then we're gonna drag the night tick onto that page and then just scale it so it fits nicely. Boom, and that's how you get your measurements onto the computer. So that's a 14 centimeter tick right there. I'm just gonna make another one at 13.5 just so you can see which one works better on the shoe. And then I'm going to do a new one on an A4 page just to see the difference. So File, New, A4, then I'm going to drag those on and I'm going to position them in the exact same position that we drew them on that page just to see which is more accurate once we print those off. We up every day, come and get this cake, I've been recognizing all the way. Cool, so as you can see, the one in the back is a lot bigger. So yeah, this just shows they don't print exactly the same, even though they are the same measurement. So the landscape one is more accurate, but I'm still just gonna test out even the portrait ones just to see which one looks better on the shoe. And he was pushing that charcoal, 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 and he was pushing that. All right, cool. So in the end, I ended up going with a 13.5 centimeter tick on the portrait page. That was the first page that we did on Photoshop. So next, you're gonna need the leather pieces for the Nike tick. I'm gonna link those in the description below. And then just put your Nike ticks on, draw around them. So you need 2 forward facing ticks and 2 backwards facing for each side of the shoe, basically. And then I'm also going to use a ruler where the lines are more straight just to get a crisp tick. We call it a Nike tick, by the way. Like, I know you guys in the US probably say swoosh, but if you hear me saying tick, like, that's how we say it in the UK, you know what I mean? So that's what I'm talking about. To get a nice curve, just cut it here, and then you can just cut that by itself. It makes it a lot easier. Yeah, they didn't have the peace to make it all the way, yeah. Now they wanna say that I am on my face, yeah. They didn't got the case to catch a case, yeah. One thing led to another. Bread for dinner, bread for lunch, bread for breakfast, bread for brunch. Cool, so now we're gonna remove the original Nike tick. You're gonna need this right here, which is a seam remover, seam cutter, whatever they call it. I'm gonna link it in the description below. Everything's linked in the description. This is probably the hardest part of the video, I'm not gonna lie. This just takes forever to do. You have to go through thread by thread, just cutting it and pulling on it at the same time. I've been rolling in that mud and I'm sticky in the sauce, yeah.
When I was drinking a liquor, I was in a black cabby, had me in the back happy. The drivers get spooked when they see that I'm the drivers get spooked when they see that.
So once you've done that, you're gonna have something that looks like this. The back stays in because of the square panel, but we're just gonna use fabric scissors again to cut these off right next to the edge. We're able to use the end of the scissors because they're so sharp. With ordinary scissors, you wouldn't be able to do this again, so I do recommend these scissors.
One day I'll just pop and get paid.
Now we're moving on to removing the stitching, which is just it's so long. Like Nike have used so much glue in the stitching that it's so hard to take out. You can't just use sellotape. You physically have to pull it out. Like I've seen people using tweezers and stuff, but I was like, I'm not gonna go buy that just to do this. So pulling out with your hands does work. And then the parts that don't come out, I'm using scissors, but it just takes a very long time. Here I was even using pliers to pull it out, and I was pulling so hard, like you can see how difficult this is to take out.
Baby, ooh, yeah. Baby, ooh, yeah. You can do it, ooh, yeah. Yeah, we good, we alright. Got me buzzing, I feel like, yeah, I ain't lying, my horses. I keep aside with my choices. Yeah, I'm humbling the boys. I won't lie, I won't force it. I won't lie, I won't force it. Ooh, yeah. You lie, you the spy, yeah.
Cool. So this is how they look when you're finally done. Next, you're gonna need this thing called a sewing awl. I'll link that in the description below as well. This is what we're gonna use to put the Nike tick on. Like we're gonna hand sew it basically. This is the thread we're gonna use. It's called wax thread, again in the description. This is just a tougher thread. This is the fabric we're gonna use for the orange. Really this fabric was too thin. Like the needles just went straight through it. In the end, I ended up using this PVC plastic, and I think it's cool because I've never seen anyone do a custom using this. I think it will look so hard on the orange bit. The fact that it's see-through and colored as well, I think it's going to look hard. I also switched the leather for a much thicker leather. Like this is so much better, smells, feels better. Like this was the original leather I used. Like look how thin it is. It's almost like an A4 page. It works well, but I prefer the premium feel that this one has. So this is what we're going to use. To cut the orange piece, I kind of did it by eye. Again, just looking at the image, put it next to the Nike tick, draw out a rough rectangle. And then I just go over the edges with a ruler to make sure it's straight. With the Nike tick, again, what we just did in the last one, on the back of the fabric, and then flip it around for the two ticks facing the other way. Cool, and this is what you should have. These three pieces, 2 rectangles, squares, 2 backwards Nike ticks, 2 normal ways Nike ticks. So I also taped the tongue down because that was just mad annoying. It kept moving around. I would advise that. So now we're gonna do the sewing awl. If you want to know how to use this, just search up a video how to use sewing awl. There's people showing you how to use it all over YouTube. Or if you want me to make a video, let me know below. So what I'm actually doing is making pre-holes. So when I actually attach the tick and the fabric, the holes are already gonna go through like nicely. I already had the thinner Nike tick attached, so I'm just going through those same holes again. So like I said, if you want to know how to use a sewing awl, just search it on YouTube. Or if you want me to make a video on that, I can do that. Here I'm just making a loop over the Nike tick, so that's just gonna like hold it in position. And then with the plastic piece, I just slid it into the panel where it was stitched down already, just so that holds in position like that. And then I put the Nike tick over that. Say you got me that. Boom. And then, yeah, close the loop. And then it's the same thing all the way across, back to the top, poke it through, back down to the bottom, and then keep going along like that. And again, I'm looking at the original image for reference of how they did it, basically. Cool, so that's that part done. It wasn't too hard. So now we're gonna do the other half. I have got holes punched in, but it doesn't really help because you can't see them through the leather anyway. So I'm just kind of guessing where these are. But at this point, it doesn't really matter. I'm just using the image as a reference. And it's got like a zigzag stitch pattern, which I'm just copying.
Come correct, big stick for your chest, baby, I won't go up, baby, I won't go up. Send me go shot off in my face, I know it.
So that's like the final tick. I think that looks hard. Yeah, I like how that looks. So now we're gonna add a tick to the other side. On the original Off-White, they got the writing. They don't have any tick on this side, but I thought might as well just add it, balance out the design. And I think that's the hardest part of the shoe as well, like the floating Nike tick. So why not have it on both sides? So this side's easier. I'm using the holes that were from the original Nike tick, and I'm just poking in again like we did on the other side, making that loop, threading the Nike tick through, holding that in position, closing the loop here, and then working it across, making more loops basically.
Baby, I won't go up, baby, I won't go up. Send me go shot off in my face, I know it. Take me like a ooh, baby, no, I know you.
And then again, we're doing a zigzag stitch on this end.
Baby, I won't go up, baby, I won't go up. Send me go.
And also what helps you with positioning the Nike tick is like actually looking at the image, like how high does the end of the Nike tick sit above the threads. It's like 3 threads before the bottom of the Nike tick, if you know what I mean. So that's how you really get the positioning. Then once you've done that, you want to cut out the threads on the inside as well, just to clean up the design. Cool. So yeah, that looks really clean. I'm happy with that. This is a close-up of the details. It's a bit messy, but if you guys know me, my designs are usually quite like abstract and rough. I would have made this look even rougher and I would have, you know, enhanced that, but you know, the orange looks super good. The clear plastic, these are for a friend, so I'm trying to make them as clean as possible. Otherwise I would have went a whole nother way with this custom. Cool, so now I'm just gonna add in the shoelaces. For these, I'm actually gonna use like sand beige laces. They're actually from the Pumas I customized in the last video. So I think these are gonna look hard. They match with the Nike tick.
You should watch your tone, baby. I'll be finding my own, baby, yeah. I'm feeling like Pablo, not be feeling like Naco, yeah. Moving like
Boom, so there's shoe done. Yo, I actually think this looks hard, I'm not gonna lie. So there's how you put Off-White Nike tick onto any Nike shoe. The Jordan 1, maybe I might do some videos with some other ones. But I'm just gonna do the other shoe as well. I'm gonna speed through that. And yeah.
Like your life is on the line though, you ain't my slime, you just my side. I'm getting my ride. Heads up, I got my heads up. Big thing and it ain't no joke, ain't no joke, ain't no joke. Heads up.
So yeah, I might do this video again and like do some popular designs that other people have done and show you how to do those. Or I even might do another Nike shoe, like I think what they've done at Air Force One, they've done the Blazers, so I might do a similar type of video for those as well. So yeah, let me know if you guys want to see something like that.
Yeah. Remember those times when we were at PI? Remember those times talking high, talking peak higher. Tryna see higher, tryna be higher. Put your sleeves higher, put your sleeve higher. Remember that chick from the scene, oh yeah. Couldn't even talk for the street, oh yeah. Oh, why is she calling for me, oh yeah.
And then in these ones, I'm gonna use the original white laces, just because I can't decide which one looks better. So you guys let me know in the comments below which one you like better.
Man, with all these types of conversations,
Like one day you dropping that, oh yeah. Mumbling, oh yeah. Cruising the ship
cannot please yourself for me. Do it for my girls, do it for my girls, do it with my fingers, do it for my girls, do it for my fingers. We come like it's thriller, show too many feelings. Blue baby, go get it for you. Blue baby, go kill it for you. Blue baby, go bring it back. If it's so good, then I'll do it for you. Yeah, never be penniless for you. Yeah, we might be taking our blood, yeah. I might just take it, I want it, yeah.